Today, I'm gonna be racing probably what is gonna be the coldest race of my life. We're running a 15K. A 15K is a weird distance. Think of it as 3 5Ks combined. If you run sub 60, you ran 3 straight sub 25Ks. And one more thing, it's cold. 22 degrees and there's literally a snow warning. So we have the entire marathon racing team minus Jacob here as our first race of the marathon season. Let's go meet all of them.
Hey.
Austin Hodge, 33:53 10K and 15:54 5K.
It's race day, baby.
Yes, sir.
The speed suit is on. It's gonna be snowing.
And despite it snowing, Austin has chosen to wear a very revealing speed suit.
I have arm sleeves. That's about all I got to keep me warm.
Oh my god. What's your goal?
Beat T-Crick.
How we doing?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling frosty and I'm ready to bite people at Frostbite.
Oh my god. If that sounded weird, it's because our race is called the Frostbite 15K. Anyways, Tyler Krikovic, 2:39 marathon and a 4:23 mile. What's the goal?
With the conditions, it's hard to say for sure. 5:35 pace. So like that'll put me around 51 something,
yeah,
52
okay.
maybe. My main goal is to beat Hodge.
Morning. Will Crispin, 10:41 2 mile and 1:25 half. What's the goal?
Goal for today is probably sub 60. Just as
Wow, selling yourself short.
it's a benchmark race, not really too important.
And good merch.
Yeah, good merch.
Alright boys, about to warm up. We're like 50 minutes out from race time. Probably gonna do like a mile or so. Feel good. Warm up the body because it is so cold outside. Then it's race time, baby. Alright, let's hit it.
You know what? I'm gonna be cooking on this warm-up, so I'll be fine.
Why are you cooking on the warm-up? Sure enough, Austin dropped us on the warm-up, but then it was time to unveil the speed suit.
That's painful just looking at that. It'll be
$100
funny, all right.
for $50. I said, you know what?
He's made a great mistake.
You gotta make mistakes to realize what the errors were. Mistake number 1. It's January and I'm wearing a speed suit. That's the first mistake.
Second mistake, being about to race in 20-degree weather. But it was go time. And here we are, 4 dogs about to take the top 4 places.
Runner, set, and go!
Nothing quite like the start of a massive race, and I was wearing a special outfit for my race. Let's go, baby! Coastline Track Club, let's go! So I'm out here repping Coastline Track Club. With this being my first ever post-collegiate race, I haven't raced for anything besides Deep Run my high school and VT my college. But what was my goal for the race? Originally going into this race, I wanted to break 58 minutes, which would have put me at 6:13 pace, which I feel like would have been a good first race to have. 6:13 for 9 miles isn't too slow. And now, let's check out the map. Here we are. The first 2 miles of the race were kind of an out and back. We went out, looped really quick, and then went back down the same way. And at the 2 mile, none other than Austin Hodge is in the lead. Austin's 2 mile split was 10:50, which is crazy fast. But right behind him, we have Tyler Krikovic holding it down. And then behind them a little bit more. I ran like 11:40 my first 2 mile, which was pretty strong. And then behind me is Will, still cruising. So if we take a look at the map again, we weave through some neighborhoods and then eventually we're gonna come out at the 5K. And maybe the speed suit actually had magical powers because Austin Hodge ran 17 flat his first 5K and didn't die. Tyler just a few seconds behind him. And then for me, I came through an 18 flat, which was well ahead of pace. And I was like, dang, I'm definitely gonna break 58 at this point. It's just how fast can I go? For whatever reason, I was just feeling super comfortable during this race. I went out in a 5:57 and then I was clipping 5:45s like it was nothing. But now, let's hear from our sponsor. In order to fuel for this race, I've been getting Prime Hydration from Element. And that's exactly how I've been able to rip sub 6s so far. Element is an electrolyte mix company whose products are made with lots of salt and 0 sugar. This ends up giving you healthier hydration than normal sports drinks. Having lots of salt and 0 sugar combines together to give you the bare essentials for prime hydration. Just as bare as Austin's speed suit. I'm a huge fan of the raspberry salt mix right now, but there's also citrus, orange, watermelon, lemon habanero, mango chili, and chocolate sea salt. Right now, you can get a free Element sample pack, just pay for the shipping. That includes one of each of the flavors I just listed, and quite honestly is about the best deal I have ever seen. So click the link in the description if you want to up your hydration game. And now, back to the race. So for the first part of this race, I was absolutely freezing cold. But as we went on, I started to warm up as my pace was pretty quick. But that worried me because I was scared I was gonna die. But as we head from the 5K through to the 7K, the paces stayed the same. Austin and Tyler are still well ahead of me and Will and fighting it out. Here comes Austin around the bend, looking fly in that speed suit, still clipping like 530s at this point. Tyler again is just a little bit behind Austin. He's trying to run it down. That is a big rivalry right there. Who is gonna win between those two? And then eventually I'm coming through. My 4th mile ended up being another 5:45, so I went through the 4 mile in like 23:15 or so, which was so fast, and I was seriously scared to death at this point, guys. I was gonna die. A little bit behind is Will. He's running like 6:10s right now, which is still a super solid pace for him. So at this point in the race, we're over halfway done, and we go out, we loop some lakes, and then we come back to the exact same spot at the 10K. And what do you know, Austin is still in the lead out of us four. He ran 34:20 for his first 10K, which is actually super close to his 10K PR. And then a little bit behind him, like the whole race, is T-Crick, as he's slowly moving up and he's closing the gap. Austin went out a little too hard and Tyler's starting to make him pay. And then a little bit behind those guys is yours truly, still feeling pretty good. And I went through the 10K a bit under 36 minutes, which technically is a PR for me. Closing out the pack, we have Will, who is killing it right now. He went through the 10K in mid 38s, which clearly means he's gonna be sub 60. So we hit a few more loops throughout the park and the neighborhood, but we're truly in the end game now as Austin and Tyler approach mile 8. And this is just such a great shot. You can see the gap between Tyler and Austin way ahead. It's about 100 meters. Can Tyler close it? 2 minutes later, I'm gonna come by and I am really feeling it at this point. Feeling dead, looking forward to the finish, and at this point, my goals have changed. I now want to try to break 55 minutes and have my overall pace be sub 6 minutes per mile. And as we go through the last mile, we're weaving throughout a neighborhood. Austin and Tyler neck and neck, and then Tyler passes Austin. Here's the finish line cam. Tyler is gonna finish with a very strong 52:15. 5:36 per mile overall, and then just a bit behind Austin, who is gonna run a 52:36, which is 5:39 a mile. And here I come, I'm kicking as hard as I possibly can, and I'm gonna finish with a time that killed my expectations. I ended up running an average pace of 5:52 a mile for a 54:38, and then Will comes in with a 58:21. All right, everyone had an amazing race. Here's 2 more videos to watch. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.